You just pulled the tough end of a wishbone. Howdy.
Afternoon.
Left Larson sucking wind then, eh?
If that is the phrase.
Well, your little vacation riot's over now. Time to give back what you've hijacked off me.
Let's try the lunchbox.
Well, kill her!
Hey!
You morons! Let's go.
What the heck was that? What? That-a-way. Probably just a fish. Had me some fish, kid. Man, you have got to learn to chill. I'm going back inside. You coming? Steady. Here she goes.
We ready yet?
Hello and welcome everyone to Let's Play Tomb Raider 1 Remastered. This is guys 115 speaking, and let me welcome you to the first level of the final chapter of the game, one of the three, Natla's Mines. We are gonna get our hands on all 3 secrets, pick up 30 goodies, and kill this level's only 3 enemies, but each one a unique boss. It's gonna be brutal. We're also not gonna use any medpacks, and we're gonna break this level's one and only breakaway tile. Now, I would like to start in a way of an apology. In my previous Sanctuary of the Scion Let's Play, I was a bit too trigger happy with our shotgun. I had fun taking down centaurs and Larson with it. However, in case you're interested in all the achievements, and more specifically the Shell Sucker achievement in this level, you need to start it with at least 7 shotgun shells. And that wasn't the case when I finished it, if you remember. We finished, I believe, with 4 shotgun shells, meaning that getting the Shell Sucker achievement in this level would have been impossible. I have since went back and I replayed the Sanctuary of the Scion level, so you'll see that our save count is now 19, not 18. And the reason is, we not need more shotgun ammo to bring down one of the enemies in this level using only shotgun. It's not sufficient to land the killing blow with shotgun, you need to deal damage only with shotgun. I have tested this. So if you have, I don't know, at least 7 shotgun shells, you're fine, because you're gonna find 2 more in this level, and 9 should be just about enough to bring that enemy down, okay? So I would like to apologize. I'm also gonna add comment to the top of the comments list in that video, just to sort of highlight it, to let you guys know, please use magnums or Uzis to bring down the centaurs, not the shotgun, if you're interested in Shell Sucker achievement. And I didn't really think about this, because it's something I haven't even thought about, because in my first playthrough of Tomb Raider 1 Remastered on PS4, I just happened to have had enough ammo. It never occurred to me that this is gonna be a problem for this achievement, so apologies for that. Now, Natla's Mines. Oh boy, is this a controversial level. So first, let me start off by saying I love it. The reason is that this is Tomb Raider franchise one and only level, so far that is, where we have no weapons, not even pistols, right? This is exciting, and I can't wait to see what they do with it. Well, truth be told, not much, although if you're aiming for the sort of finish the game under 5 hours achievement, you can absolutely ignore trying to get pistols and continue the level proper. It's a fun challenge to do. So first of all, I would like to explain a couple of things. This is not yet a central hub, but it's a cavern with a boat where Natla's henchmen entered with from their sort of yacht that they parked outside. Which actually brings me to a good point, and that's the stamps that Lara collects in her passport. Now, the best view you can get of the stamps really is if you die and go to the restart level screen. There you will see the passport stamps all together. But you have a stamp for entering Peru, for leaving Peru, for entering Greece, for leaving Greece, for entering and leaving Egypt, and now for entering something called Ascension Island. Ascension Island is where this story takes place, right? Where Natla and her henchmen went, with all 3 pieces of Skion stolen from Lara, and Lara follows. Now, if you want to see what those stamps look like in the original, that's it. And I thought, actually, hold on a sec, the stamps are a new addition to the Tomb Raider Remastered. No, I booted up the original version, went back to my final level save, and I've seen, oh my god, the stamps have been there, being collected all along. That's incredible. I have never throughout the years noticed this is the case until I played the remaster. So much to talk about, but guys, do you see what I mean by what we've just seen being the best FMV cutscene? I mean, those were such iconic Lara Croft moments on the bike. It was incredible. And actually the devs wanted to implement the bike for Tomb Raider 2, but they settled for a motorboat and a snow scooter instead. And by the time Tomb Raider 2 was released, they also had the quad bike figure out, but they waited till Tomb Raider 3 to sort of implement it into a proper level, right? Now, one of the reasons I think many people do not like Natla's Mines is the fact that you will see this trope used over and over, where you press a switch on one side of the level, but it opens a door on the other end of the level, right? And you sort of have to navigate like this. Personally, I don't mind this, because this entire level, especially with the whole idea that we have no guns, makes it feel more like an adventure game rather than action-adventure game. And if you're familiar with my channel and the content I do, you know I love adventure games. I mean, I've done Broken Sword series, walkthroughs, Siberia, Black Mirror, heck, Neighbors from Hell is an adventure game. And this kind of just scratches that itch for adventure games. By the way, very easy to miss large medpack. It's easier to pick up in the original graphics if you see it. Now this room right here, and there was a sort of an automatic Lara looking at the top, at the cabin over there, this contains our pistols. Now I'm not sure if we'll be able to see them in through the window, or if perhaps this box is... Yeah, okay, it's a bit of a trick. It's empty, unfortunately. It's a dynamic object we can pass through. But the moment we'll sort of drop it down using the crane, we'll find pistols inside. And in order to do that, we'll need to enter 3 fuses into this here control room. 1, 2, 3. Right now I'm here just to pick up the Magnum's ammo, but you can of course postpone that until you have the 3 fuses. There is no point, by the way, to just enter 1 or 2. You need to enter all 3 to make any sort of progress, okay? Now, each fuse is tied to a particular challenge, let's say. So first of all, there is one on the left, but there's no point going there, and there's one forward over there. And there's absolutely a point in going there because we can snag our first fuse. Now, there are 2 ways we can tackle this challenge. The whole idea is that you make a series of very well executed and timed jumps to make it through these barriers before a boulder that starts rolling from that corner will block your path. Well, truth be told, even if the boulder ends up blocking your path, you can still glitch your way through. Or what I think is the best way to really do this challenge is not even trigger the boulder, and I'm going to show you how. So first of all, there's one on the side there which we can ignore. If you were to climb up here, you would trigger that boulder. However, if you instead climb up here, the boulder will remain still, right? If you were to shimmy one square to the left, meaning Lara's legs would hang above this particular tile, that boulder would already start rolling and it'd be a bit too late, okay? So now that we climbed up here, we can just safely go without triggering the boulder and be on our way, which is awesome. I love the fact that the devs did not fiddle with this. If you know this trick from the original, you can absolutely apply it in the remaster, which is incredibly rewarding. And we got our hands on the first fuse. We can trigger one boulder. Oh, and there's also one over here, but we can just safely ignore that. And that's essentially it for this challenge. Now, you might be wondering, okay, hold on a sec. Zelgadis, I tried it, doing it, the intended way, and a boulder blocked my path. Well, if that happens, see, we triggered it by being in this tile. The boulder blocked your path, let's say. What you can always do, and this also doubles as a way out of the challenge once you have the fuse, is go over here, and you will find yourself on a high ceiling from which you can safely drop. Well, let's ensure we will not take any damage. Awesome. And there we go. And the moment you re-enter this room, you will find that the boulder positions have reset. That applies to the main one over here and also to this one over here, okay? And you can do this as often as you want. That's essentially it. Now, we have one fuse to our name, but where are the other two? Well, there's one over there, but for that, we'll need to open up a door first. No point going there now. And another one is in the room where we sort of entered, where the boat Natla and her henchmen used is parked, okay? By the way, one really cool point I'm gonna touch up when we encounter this level's 3 enemies, and that's, by the way, gonna be Natla's henchmen from the FMV cutscene, which makes it incredibly satisfying. They have reworked the way they look to resemble their FMV counterparts, as opposed to what they looked like in-game in the level in the original. And I'll show you the comparison when we do encounter them. Okay, this level's one and only breakaway tile. By the way, there's an intentional reason I parked the block over here, because it's just beneath the hole in the ceiling, meaning once we sort of drop down using a safety drop, we will not take any damage, right? And since we are doing a no medpacks run, well, I need to use all such opportunities as much as possible. The only reason to go here isn't any goodies, it's just to press a switch, which I believe should move a boat to a different position. So this is what people don't like about this level. You are in a completely different area, in a completely different cavern, and pressing a switch here will move the boat in the original one, right? What would perhaps make more sense would be to first get the pistols and then use them to shoot the rope or something like that, but alas, it wasn't meant to be. And because we parked the block here, we didn't take any damage. Awesome. So now we do need to backtrack. No need to put the fuse in here so far. We do need to backtrack to the original area to get our hands on the boat. Moving the boat out of the way, however, unlocks a new path because we can now climb it. Well, that was a crazy way down. And jump into the storage over there. By the way, this is another one of those levels where I absolutely love what Tomb Raider Anniversary did with it, because you can use the fuses that you're gradually entering into their slots as sort of puzzle elements to even access secrets if you sort of mess around with the controls in between the final stage. It's much better, less linear like that. You will also, in Tomb Raider Anniversary, be chased by a couple of rats that you won't be able to shoot. So by the time you get your pistols and have your sweet revenge on them, it's incredibly rewarding. And they also did another change where Lara did not kill Larsen in Egypt, but instead Larsen was, in a sense, they did away with the whole cowboy henchman, and Larsen was fulfilling that role in Anniversary, and he's the one who actually allowed Lara to escape because he genuinely liked her. And then in Natla's Mines in Anniversary, Lara will, well, do away with Larsen, not being aware of that. But it's not like she had much of a choice in order to continue. Okay, so I'm gonna move this crate out of the way as well, and we are finally gonna move some mining equipment around. There's a little machine you might have noticed in one of the rooms we were in before that we're gonna move by this switch over here. And there it is. It shakes and moves out of the way. It's really cute. Yeah, this is what the crates looked in the original. They haven't changed the logo at all, just sort of upscale it, which I appreciate. And again, we don't really have magnums to show you, but Natla Technologies created those weapons that we found in Greece that Pierre used. We should be able to avoid water like this. Nice. Okay, now onwards we go. Behind this mining equipment, this drill, which by the way looks... Does this look sharp to you? How can you drill anything with this? I truly do not know. In the original, yeah, it was kind of the same shape, but I just accepted it for being old graphics. But this looks like a balloon, really. Anywho. Behind it, strangely enough, is a crate, so I'm not sure how on earth it planned to drill through that, or sounds like they already drilled and just put the crate there. It's a bit weird. But the crate will actually allow us to activate another switch. Now, this is a point that many people miss and why they get stuck and frustrated, that you can jump up here. In the remasters, it's actually easier to see the Uzi clips, I find, than in the originals. That's a rare exception. Okay, and I bet you have no idea where the door is. Don't worry, I'm gonna show you. We haven't been to that area yet. And now, whilst we're here, let's grab this fuse over here and get the hell out of the way. Now, I'm curious myself if we'll see a cowboy around the corner over here. Yep, there he is. Wait, is he moving? That's a bit scary. So this right here is a cowboy, but I think before I take a picture, I'm gonna bring him to light from somewhere we can properly see him. So this guy's lying in wait. Let's get out of here so as not to get shot at. This cowboy henchman is this level's first boss, and he's supposed to be sort of the obstacle that the devs thought you can only overcome by collecting your pistols. But that's not actually the case. You can absolutely 100% ignore him and continue the level, which is funny. You can skip a huge chunk of the level, and when you find yourself in the next one, you'll find that you do have pistols and the rest of your weapons. It's an interesting thing. I have tested it. But who knows, maybe that's not the catch after the newest patch, we'll see. But you can absolutely do that, and I'm gonna be testing it when I'll be doing my time trial run of the game. But we now have 2 fuses, and we've pretty much unlocked a path to the 3rd fuse, so sooner rather than later we'll be dropping this heavy box with our pistols seemingly inside, but we checked they're not actually there. They will magically spawn once it hits the ground. Okay, there's nothing on the roof of this hut, just in case you were wondering, no breakaway tiles or anything like that. And this is the one and only area I haven't shown you yet that we had access to from the get-go, and that's this conveyor belt area. You can go to the right over here to get a sneak peek of a empty conveyor belt. Honestly, I feel that's where they should have put the fuse on the conveyor belt, so you would have seen it from that side, but you can at least see it from this side, right? And behind the mining drill, where we use the block to climb up, is this room with Uzi pickups. Very, very easy to miss there. And a switch, which this is the one and only switch of this level, which makes sense. It's close to the conveyor belt, and as you can see, it moves, it activates it, meaning we'll find the fuse over here, right? It has essentially teleported. Off camera, of course. Okay, so we have all 3 fuses. It's time to get our pistols out. Now, I really wish they would have done more with this level, with the whole no pistols idea, than this. But honestly, being the first of its kind, I kind of respect it. Many people call this level sort of a pace killer. They hate the fact that when action is ramping out and we're approaching the final chapter of the game, you have all your guns taken back, you're messing with pointless machinery. People would like to get to the actual Atlantis ASAP, but I like this. I love the idea of just towards the very end losing all your powers you've collected throughout the game in the form of pistols and having to recollect them and sort of relive an ultimate power curve and revenge fantasy. I'm into games like that. Okay, so the box was dropped, there's the door now knocked down, and suddenly pistols are inside. Let's pretend that was always the case. Now, if you press the unholster holster key or the weapon key, Lara will not automatically pick them up. You either need to go into your inventory to re-equip them, or you can press a hotkey. Either inventory X if you're using a controller, or 1 on keyboard if you're using PC. And from now on, when you use the weapon key, Lara will take her guns out. Now, let's not miss the corridor over here. And right on this tile is where I'm gonna make this level's very first save, okay? So we're gonna be saving quite a few times here because there are unique achievements and challenges for us to collect. First of all, this is the level's first secret. It contains an achievement, not gonna fall for that, which essentially means, and maybe let me show you once the door opens, that we are not to, in any capacity, touch any of the slippery slopes here. This tile will sort of open up leading into a pool of lava, and you're supposed to just jump back and forth until it closes and you're able to climb back up. However, in order to unlock this achievement, not only do you have to jump here, ignoring those slippery slopes, but what the achievement description doesn't tell you, it's a terrible description, many achievements here just have the worst descriptions, is that you also need to get out of this room without touching the trap tile. I do not know why, the achievement doesn't mention it, and once you press that switch, the trap tile will no longer open, so it's not really a trap tile anymore, right? So the best way I found is doing jump like this, and there we go. I'm not falling for this trick, take a secret in Natla's mines without stepping on trap slide, yeah? So you do need to not only take the secret without stepping on the trap slides, but you also need to get out of there. Essentially, half of what it takes to unlock this achievement is not mentioned, which is absolutely infuriating. Okay, now, we have our guns ready, however, rather than doing what I usually do, and that is to keep the deaths collection as a sort of a bonus at the end of the video, I'm gonna integrate all 3 unique deaths directly in the Let's Play proper, because we have no other quick and efficient way to revisit this level's 3 bosses and get killed by them. And I don't want to double the amounts of saves I will make, right? So first of all, let's take a picture of the cowboy. Let's let him kill us.
Personal.
Oh, it is always personal. Always. Okay, I want you to step into the light a bit more. Oh, there, muzzle flash. Now this is a good opportunity to take a picture. So there he is. He reminds me of Paulson, the cowboy from the Mothership Zeta DLC for Fallout 3. Let's just take a picture. And this is what he looked like in the original. Again, they were inspired by the FMVs in the way they reworked them, right? He had this sort of a flannel shirt underneath and a red scarf, so they, in the FMV rather than in-game, so they reworked him that way. However, in the original, he carried presumably revolvers or something like that, and here he's actually carrying Lara's magnums, because he did take them off of her, right? So by killing him, we will be retrieving them. But let's let him kill us first. And there we go. Our deaths count has now increased. It is only the 3 unique enemies which will sort of reward us with 3 unique deaths, okay? So I'm gonna see you back at this point and take revenge and instead show you how to safely and reliably take this guy down without taking perhaps even any damage. Revenge time, Lara. Let's show this cowboy how to dual-wield pistols.
Nothing personal.
Like I said, it's always personal. Now the strategy for this gentleman over here is to always maintain distance. From certain distance, he will not be able to hit you no matter how hard he tries. His accuracy is actually pretty dismal. He'll always try to get closer, you just make a hop back, and you should be safe outside of his firing range, okay? Alright, I do like what I see. We haven't yet taken damage. Excellent. It's a bit counterintuitive. Usually I used to take an approach like fighting any of Bartoli's henchmen in Tomb Raider 2 here for this guy, and that's to essentially try and roll behind his back to kill him. And there we go. Like I said, it's personal now, defeat Cowboy, and we did not take any damage. So distance is key for this boss fight. Let's take those pistols off of him. And like I said, we had our no pistols challenge activated, and I said we're gonna use pistols again for one single enemy later in the game. This was it. From now on, it's magnums, baby, until it's gonna be Uzis and shotgun, but you know what I mean. So, funny thing, You don't need to collect the fuses, you don't need to collect the pistols, you can just ignore this cowboy. As he shoots at you, keep popping medpacks and just drop over here. And that's how you can continue the level very quickly and efficiently. Something we'll keep in mind, okay? When we'll be doing the time trial. So, there's a medpack over here. An important disclaimer, I found many ways to kill Lara with lava. There's falling into it, stepping into it, there's even letting these lava bubbles chip your health away until you die. None of these things count as a new unlockable death. What I think is most likely is that we have already unlocked this death when we burnt to crisp in Palace Midas, right? So that in a sense counts as all sorts of fire deaths in this game. So it is really only the 3 unique enemies to this level that are going to give you the 3 unique deaths for this level, bringing us to, I believe, 33 total. We'll see, it's going to be interesting. But we are at 31 right now. Now this part makes me very nervous. But what I really like is the lighting of the lava here. Look at this red glow illuminating Lara. In the original it was just all kind of cool and cold, right? But here you can almost feel the heat. It's incredible. Okay, and after we shimmy all the way there, I intentionally do not want to make any running jump shortcuts here or anything like that, because the tiles here are so steep that they're unreliable, and this tile over here is the worst offender of them all. If you just align Lara perfectly and try to make a running grabbing jump, most of the time it will not work. Because it's so steep, the actual distance Lara will cover is shorter than a full tile, and she'll stop and then usually make a standing grabbing jump and fall to her death. Instead, try to make a curved running turn like that and jump and grab like this, okay? This is the most safe and reliable way I found of grabbing this. It's a really advanced move, and something I did not expect out of Tomb Raider 1, but since we are approaching the end, it's only fair. You'll need to master these moves by the time you reach Tomb Raider 3. I do enjoy playing these games back to back, and the difficulty curve. I find the first one to not be an easy game, but easiest of the 3, absolutely. Although, to be fair, probably Tomb Raider 4 is the absolute easiest once you know what the hell you're supposed to do. Figuring out how to continue is its biggest challenge. Yeah, new lava bubbles, remember getting killed by them will not award you with new death or anything like that. And you know what, let's not align Lara by 1 square because she's in a risk of over jumping that stone pillar. See what I mean? Instead, this one we can set her up perfectly, and now you can continue and be on your merry way, or take a look to the right, because this right here, my friends, is this level's second secret. Now there are a couple of ways to do it, but the easiest, most convenient is to immediately start pushing the block in, because this entire time a boulder is rolling on the tracks, see? Trying to kill you, okay? Now, if that happens and you survived and you're on the other side, you can absolutely glitch your way through by sort of jumping into a corner like this. It's annoying, it takes ages, I wouldn't recommend that. Now, let's again move this block out of the way so that we can climb up. And behind the boulder is a reason why you don't need to get the fuses and pistols in this level, and that's essentially the fact that we're gonna get our hands on a shotgun, which is simply marvelous. Okay, so there's nothing really at the end of this long mine shaft. Trust me, I have looked, just darkness, but over here, a beautiful shotgun. So these are really the only 2 shotgun shells you're going to be awarded in this level. We started with 18, now we're at 20. You do need at least 9 to unlock the Shell Sucker achievement, okay? And now again, the boulder is blocking your way, you can absolutely glitch through, but I'm going to show you the intended way and pick up 2 more goodies that I passed by on my way here. Where we moved the block out of the way and climbed up, that's where the goodies are. So let's see them. They're large medpack and Uzi clips. Both of them very useful. Well, not the large medpack, because we're not going to be using it. The only playthrough where I'm going to be using medpacks is going to be the speedrun and pistols only. Now we can fall into one of these holes, but there really is no point. It's the one over here that we're interested in, because it's, see, on the other side of the boulder. So that's essentially how you're supposed to get the secret. Again, if the boulder does end up blocking your way, there isn't a way to reset it, but you can sort of glitch your way through the corners of that passageway to make it to the other side. It's just annoying, but it's entirely possible. Okay, And yeah, absolutely, we're choosing the pillar on the left. We made it across the lava corridor. Now stop right here. Oh, you know what? No, you're fine. Lara will just barely make it and not fall into the pit of lava, but this part really always scares the living hell out of me. This part, on the other hand, bores the living hell out of me. So first of all, this very dark TNT crate with no lighting properly applied on it needs to be moved out of here through the corridor and into the next room, so that you're essentially given a leverage to jump from and into a corridor, which is supposed to activate a TNT explosion, narratively speaking, but mechanically it's not needed. It's just to really climb somewhere up and change the geometry. I'll explain as we go. Now, it is my firm belief that pushing forward is faster than backwards, so let's just switch sides and do this. Not by much, to be fair. I did a little time comparison in Tomb Raider: The Last Revelation, and there pushing forward was slightly faster than pushing backwards. Not really sure about the originals. I think I might check it afterwards and let you guys know on the screen. Okay. And I think this should be sufficient. You can absolutely align it even better, but this angle is just fine. And essentially, we need to blow this TNT crate up to clear the rubble over here and allow us to continue. What does it look like on the other side? Ah, yes, so that's just rubble, and the geometry of the rest of the level is maintained. That's pretty neat. They didn't do a cheap trick where the entire part of the level wouldn't be there to conserve memory, and then suddenly reappear. And the switch to do that will be on that way. So you can make a standing jump and be on your way. Okay, that slope is slippery, so we need to climb to the right over here. And this here is just a really awkward trap. Now, the whole trick here is to just be patient and let the boulder roll out of its way. If you don't know this in advance, it can get pretty deadly. Ooh, we almost fell. That wouldn't be good. And no more boulders. That's it. And we're gonna reappear in a very familiar looking area, which, by the way, if you're really interested in the ultimate shortcuts, you can make an angled jump from the cowboy area whilst ignoring him to grab the ledge over here from over here. You can absolutely make a sort of a tilted jump, angle Lara mid-jump, and grab the ledge over here and climb up. You'll still be shot at, but you will have skipped an even larger part of the level. However, I would recommend maybe at least getting the shotgun from the second secret, but perhaps it's not going to be necessary. Like I said, I haven't yet tested ignoring even the shotgun, so I'm curious myself how that will turn out. Oh, I can't wait. Okay, and we heard a little explosion. Sorry I was talking over that sound, but most importantly, this essentially means, from a narrative point of view, that the TNT crate we have used as leverage has exploded. It's smart how they made us use it and sort of bring it closer to the rubble, and you can even see bits and pieces of the crate like this. That's really cute. I like it a lot. In the original it's just the top of the slippery slope, and here it's also the sides in the remaster. Interesting. But it's just a cute detail. So now that the rubble has been cleared, we are gonna get ready for what I think is the toughest fight of the game. My friends, I'm going to save here yet again because we also want to collect a new death pertaining to the second boss of the level. Oh my god, there he is, there he is, there he is. Okay, I think this is a good pose for him. He looks like he's 12, essentially. I mean, the idea really in the original was that he was a gangster and, I mean, at least a teenager. Here he looks even younger. But again, what I appreciate is that this guy looks nothing like he looked in the FMV. So they took the inspiration, they gave him red sneakers, they gave him this really odd polo shirt, they gave him a cap facing backwards, which is blue one, nothing about white shirt and number 1. That's not what he looked like at all. Also, he carries Lara's Uzis or engrams, right? However if you want to call them the real name or not. And this is essentially it. So just like the cowboy, they really took the inspiration from the FMVs, and I appreciate that. I think we can improve the angle somewhat. Want this to be dynamic. You want this to resemble 1990s yo-yo wielding gangsters everywhere on the streets. It was an epidemic. Yeah, I think this is good enough. Okay, to be honest, I prefer his design from Tomb Raider Anniversary. There he actually looked kind of threatening, but yeah, they wanted to remain faithful to the original, and now, let's finish it. That's how deadly this guy is. So, good news is, we are at 32 deaths right now, and we are still gonna collect the 33rd a bit later on, but now to show you how to take this guy down as safely as possible and not use a medpack. So, in case you do want to save up your shotgun shells, let's say you haven't saved up quite as many as I did after replaying Sanctuary of the Scion, and you want to have enough for the Shellsucker achievement, get your magnums out. I'm gonna show you what I think is the best way to take this guy down, not necessarily the safest. You essentially have to keep firing at his back. It's a bit difficult because this guy turns around real quick. Oh, that surprised me. How does he not fall off into the lava? Ah, yes, I'm firing at you. Defeat Skater Enemy. Skater Enemy is what they refer to him. I think Kid was what we all used to call him, but it really doesn't matter. In Tomb Raider Anniversary, they gave him a genuine name. Jerome was it, actually. A street thug. Okay, so even though he still holds his Uzis, we technically pick them up now. Yep, there we have them. And we will no longer use magnums. I don't think we're ever gonna run out of Uzi ammo, but just in case, we can of course always fall back on the magnums. So first things first, there are 3 pairs of Uzi clips in this large skate park, and one secret. What I really like about the remaster is that you can tell by the lighting coming from down the earth below if there's lava, or perhaps if there's water, right? In the original, it was kind of impossible to tell which is what, but here it is much easier by the glow, which is awesome. I like this. If you pay attention to your environment, you'll end up being awarded by a secret. And inside, we get small and large health pack, and again, Uzi clips. Now, really, from this point on, it's really Uzis that it's all about, except for, again, we'll want to take down the 3rd and final boss of this level with shotgun. But Uzis will be your bread and butter. There might be a few situations here and there where I'll prefer the use of a shotgun, but perhaps not. We'll see. Okay. I think we'll put shotgun to good use in the Unfinished Business expansion, rather than the Uzis. Okay, and one more pair of Uzi clips, and I believe it should be on the diagonal end of the room. Somewhere... Ah, yeah, I can already see him. My god, skate park where if you make a single mistake, you're gonna burn to death in lava. How metal is that? Okay. So that's it for this room. By the way, you can absolutely choose not to fight this guy and just outrun him by just simply moving into this here corridor. Now it's gonna be tricky because this place has boulders in it, and the kid, the skater guy, will still follow you, even despite the boulders, which again is kind of metal as hell. He's really brave. There we triggered all 3, and when you step on this here tile, you'll trigger this one. So all you need to do is just stop and not run into it. That's essentially the gist of that. Okay, and now this is a bit of a long, awkward climb up into the sort of final puzzle and area of the level, where actually we'll get to see some interesting Atlantean architecture that was briefly shown in the FMV cutscene, guiding Lara from Greece into Egypt. We could see a huge pyramid and a couple of sort of gold-looking huts around it. We are gonna enter one of those huts, and we are essentially at that pyramid on the so-called Ascension Island. I didn't even know that's what it was called. Interesting. Maybe for the purposes of the remasters, the devs had to come up with a name for the island? I'm not sure myself. Maybe you guys will know where this island is. I've heard some rumors in pop quizzes and so on that it's happening off the coast of Croatia, but I'm not sure myself, really. And this is the hut I've talked about. So it's not really golden walls, although it looked like it in the original. It's more like a sandstone or something along those lines. Oh, and cool bit of detail they added. Sources of light. Well, in the new graphics, they added sort of actual sunlight from an evening sky peeking in here. But the cool thing is that the patch 1.02 added these sorts of windows at the top. In the previous patch version, there was nothing, just a hole in the sky. But now they added a bit of, I guess, cool, unique piece of Atlantean architecture, which I really appreciate. And yes, this is absolutely a movable block. By the way, I haven't yet shown you this, and I'm going to briefly do that. And that's the new action indicators in this patch version. So rather than an exclamation mark, they decided for Lara's hand. I like this symbol more than just an exclamation mark. However, first sin, unforgivable. There is no pixelated version of Lara's hand in the OG graphics. And second of all, its placement. It completely covers up Lara's head. I do not like this. This is also an issue I have when the action indicator pops when picking up, well, goodies and items and pickups, because it completely covers them up. So you'll want to actually turn it off if you want to see on the ground what you're picking up and you don't want Lara's hand to cover Lara's head all the time, right? I feel like the exclamation mark, although a less interesting symbol, had a much better placement. So I hope they can tweak the placement of Lara's hand a bit better, because it's a bit annoying in my opinion. Okay, and I prefer to move the block this way, because we'll be climbing back out from down there below. And it's just gonna be easier on that side. Okay, so let's take a note of the door over there. Again, a piece of Atlantean architecture, very cool. And I think this one we should put here. And now we'll have to go all the way back. I think this puzzle is really what people mean by Natla's Mines being a bit of a pace killer. It's like, we're so close to the entrance into the Atlantis, but there has to be this puzzle, let's call it. Yeah, I guess it qualifies as a puzzle. So this means we can now push this one even further, because we move the other block out of the way. And here is a door that's closed. Now this will be our way out of this puzzle into the final boss arena. But of course it's not a simple matter of the switch next to it opening the very same door. Oh no, that'd be too convenient. And against the design philosophy of Tomb Raider 1. Instead, we open this door, which will allow us to take stairs down. Oh, and what's going to be behind this block is going to be incredibly cruel. There's going to be a corridor with a door that will open up, but by the time we'll want to reach it, it will close. Ah, we can get out, we can get out. No, screw you. That's just evil. And again, there's a switch next to it, but it doesn't open this door, but the one we passed by. My goodness, this is annoying. So yeah. And you can again hear the sound of the door outside opening, but you can never make it there on time, unfortunately. Now I'm just trying to remember where the door was. I think it would have been here, right? Wonderful. And now, let us save, because we have a death and a kill and 2 achievements to collect. So, first and foremost, let me introduce you to the bald guy, or however the hell they'll refer to him. So I want to get a muzzle flash angle. Yes! Ah, that's it. Perfect. So he looks... Okay, I'm not gonna lie. This doesn't look good. To be fair, it does look better than its FMV counterpart, right? Here you could at least use your imagination that he looked like a real person, although what I don't understand is he has a dark skin, but his hands are orange, and his back of the head and neck is orange. It just doesn't make sense why there even is color orange, but yes, this is actually what he looked like in the original, and nobody knows why. Cool thing is, he has bandolier around his waist. They maintained that, and they gave him a coat. Now this coat is actually what he had in the FMV cutscene, so I appreciate that. And also, he looks closer to his Tomb Raider Anniversary counterpart, right? Where he was incredibly creepy and well-fleshed out character. Here, he's more on the funny side. But yeah, let's absolutely take a screenshot of him guarding the entrance into the Atlantis. Let's, you know, for posability purposes, let's roll it just a little. There, you shall not pass. So I'm going to take this picture and this picture. Although, to be fair, in the remastered, look at the placement of his hands and the shotgun. I'm sorry, guys, this needs work. This actually put his hand on the bottom of the barrel. This, not so much. But the cool thing is, you can see he is wielding Lara's shotgun. And now he's going to kill her with it. Oh, this is fun. Oh, you missed. Oh, you took very little damage. Okay, patience. There we go, my friends. We are now officially at 32... 33 deaths. We were at 32 when the skater kid killed us, and now we are at 33 deaths. Awesome. So we have 3 more unique deaths to collect in the upcoming 2 levels, and they all should correspond to 3 very unique enemies we will encounter. But let's load and have a bit of a shotgun fight. I'm
cheese.
ready for you. Oh, you'll be the one saying cheese by the time I'm done with you. So there is a really good way to do this, and that's essentially to just aim at his back all the time. Okay. One more should just about do it. Oh, goddammit. But as you can see, 9 shotgun shells is what it took.
Go, sucker.
Shell Sucker, defeat bold enemy using shotgun. Cheese, defeat bold enemy. Both achievements unlocked. So bold is what they called him. Just called him. See what I did there? Because cold is his name in Anniversary. Yeah, so that's essentially it. No more backstory, no more background, and honestly, just for Natla's henchmen, it's not really needed. But yeah, we started with 20. We haven't missed a single shotgun shell. When we killed him, we were down to 11, and then picking up his shotgun shells, it raised it to 13. So you need to at least start this level with 7 shotgun shells, get the second secret to get 2 more and a shotgun, and then kill him with it. You, of course, cannot kill him with a shotgun if you haven't found the second secret, right? That's another sort of roadblock to achieving that. And now we're gonna scale this pyramid and find what I think is the coolest key item in the entire game. My god, I love the pyramid key so much. I was sort of gushing about it back when I did my original Let's Play and the final stats video. But yeah, I can't wait to see it in its remastered glory. So this is very easy and straightforward, and here I would recommend again sliding to the back, maybe holding action, just so we don't overslide down there, right? And in this here cave, we're gonna find another completely detached switch, which doesn't show you what it does, and many people would expect it to open the door to the pyramid. No, that'd be too simple. We need to enter the other hut, not the one we emerged from, but the one opposite of it, to find a couple of goodies, 3 of them to be exact. Uzi clips, large health pack, and the oh so beautiful pyramid key. So first of all, I want to see what it looks like in the OG. There it is, its 2D sprite, and the remaster. It seems to have some plus sign on the top, interesting. There we go. And again, I just want to admire and worship it here. So it has a plus sign at the very top, interesting. It looks like a circuit board, an absolutely ancient circuit board, which I absolutely adore. And rather than being gold, it seems to be more on the bronze side of things. I'm not sure if that's intentional or not, but pyramid key, you make me very happy. Now, we are gonna enter it into also very appropriately shaped keyhole. This is what it looked like back then, this is now. And actually, I think it's better to show you in the original graphics how it lights up. See? In the remasters, it fits perfectly, but it doesn't actually light up. But in the original graphics, it does. Really showing the fact that it's a piece of ancient machinery with some symbols on the top, no less. Amazing. So guys, let me make a quick check if we haven't missed anything. We have found all 3 secrets, picked up all 30 goodies, killed 3 enemies, broke this level's one and only breakaway tile, and haven't used any med packs. So let me ceremoniously save here. We are at 23. I think we are in an excellent shape to beat the game under 50. So there we go. We have also unlocked all 5 achievements of this level, which makes me incredibly happy. We have collected already in the Let's Play proper its unique 3 deaths, corresponding to the 3 enemies. So we have 3 more deaths to collect, and will essentially achieve everything we set out to do. Hoping that the patch being installed halfway through the game did not mess things up for us. We'll see. Now, before we move on to the next level, the one and only that the whole game has been building up to, I would like to really say thanks and appreciation to my patrons. Blank Goopel, Mick, Severin Drax, and Marek Malec. Thank you guys for being my Winston and for bringing Lara a delicious cup of tea when she needs it the most. I would also like to say big thanks to my veteran Winston, Andrea Paviglianiti. You, sir, are awesome. Thank you for supporting me. And finally, a huge thanks to my fine vintage Winston, Akira Foxmind, you are an absolute legend. Thank you so much for deciding to support me this way. I hope I can really repay you guys in kind by making these videos. That's the best I can do. And I'm really humbled by how quickly so many of you have decided to support me. I hope that I will be able to maintain that trust. And to all of you who are just watching and engaging with these videos, I hope you find them helpful. Thank you so much. I will see you next time in the Atlantis level. It is essentially the level of Tomb Raider 1. It's absolute beast.